Before I proceed with this video, I understand it might be a little bit too long for some of you. So if you could just scroll down and take a look at the description right now, you will see how provided chapters. So if there's a certain skin that's caught your eye that you just desperately need to see right now, well, just look at the description. It's all provided you there. So, with that, good day, Ruskin enjoys. I hope you're alright, because it's time to showcase our lovely selection of skins. Now, this is an interesting Rust store. Notably, we have certain items here that don't get that many skins accepted. Getting acceptances today. Pump shotgun, revolver, jackhammer. Pretty cool to see. I'm sure you're pretty happy about that. The designs might not be for everybody, but there are a lot of interesting collection continuations. So, of course, we'll be showcasing all of these. We'll be giving them a lovely good look. Now, before we do that, we have a few things to talk about. Like, talking about the actual Rust store itself. There are some interesting acceptances today. Some of the skins were actually submitted to the workshop like half a year ago. So it seems that strange trend has returned. Seeing some very random extra late picks in some Rust stores for the foreseeable future. We'll see how that goes. But first of all, out of all these skins, which ones are abnormal? So if we could just quickly switch over to here, we have 10 skins in total, but I can confirm to you, 3 of them are not abnormal. The pump shotgun, the Hellborn SAR, and the Termite MP5. Now you might be a little bit confused. We talked about Hedge. Well, some of these skins, if you were to look at them on their store page, they have a predetermined link already prepared. That means they're abnormal. And if you still don't know what abnormals are, regular skins, this is terminology I use when I talk about skins every single week. Abnormal skins, they become marketable before the Rust store even rotates. I have a video, which you can see right now, just to see for yourself. So go to my main YouTube, you'll see my Ruskin Abnormal Barders video for June 19, 2025. Consider giving that a good look. I would suggest you watch the first 5 minutes, listen to what I say. It'll be nice and instructional. Then go to the chapters, skip ahead to the actual Barders chapter, and you will see that abnormal skins, they become marketable before the Rust store even rotates. And that's a very useful advantage to be aware of. In short, if they become marketable before the Rust store rotates, we can get early Barders in. Then we can see how high the price goes, how many Barders there are. We could get an early insight in regards to whether these skins are actually going to retain their value and if they're going to potentially be nice investments. Gives you good, nice early insight, and it kind of gives you a little bit more confidence whether to actually buy straight from the Rust store. Understood? Cool. So consider giving that a good watch. Nice and insightful. Yes, indeed. All right, then. So that's a lovely, bit of information. But this Rust store, how's it looking then? Were people approving? Well, if we could go to micro522.com, look at the accepted section, you can see that a lot of these skins had some pretty good upvote to downvote ratios. So, looking at here, 2.32, 2.49, that has 3.51. Actually didn't get noticed that much. That's a brand new skin for a brand new skin creator, it seems. Congratulations to Excuse Me. So overall, everything was viewed positively, and is it surprising to see that the Heatseeker Revolver had an incredibly high score? Right, so let's hop over to here. SUMM still has some problems, but if you just keep refreshing, you should be able to get around it. Oh, God, well, at least you're awake now. Sorry about the bright white light. Anyway, this Rust store, pretty interesting. As I've already said, we don't really get that many Jackhammer skins. So if I could just point out, we only have about 15 in total, 4 of them being Twitch drops, and the majority of them are in the positive. The ones that are down bad, holiday theme, Christmas skin, Christmas skin. Okay. We could accept that's probably looking pretty interesting. Then revolvers. I wouldn't happen to be an advocate for revolver skins, would I? Well, I'll sit here and say they do get a lot of usage. We don't see many acceptances for them, and you can see that they tend to retain their value very, 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 very nicely, because pretty much every single one of them is in the positive right now. Oh, did I happen to point out that this revolver has a transparent aim sight, which is potentially very, very, very helpful? I do believe that's a first for a revolver. And of course, it's a Heatseeker skin. Heatseeker summer. Right, anyway. Don't do that. But yeah, that's also looking very nice and tasty. And then, of course, would you perchance like to look at my cock? It's just right there on display. Nice. Presentable. A little bit angry. Yes, we're going to have to do all the puns and jokes again. I've already put out a short video. I've already made jokes in the Rust Workshop Skin Checks video, but now it's actually been accepted. It's the cock pump shotgun. Yay! So I ask you right now, what are your best jokes for this skin right now? Are you going to enjoy whipping out your cock to surprise people? There's plenty more. I'm sure you can think of better ones. Anyway, so cock pump shotgun. More specifically, a pump shotgun. A pump shotgun skin has been accepted, and they are quite a rare sight to see nowadays. 1 this year so far, 3 last year, 4 2023, 1 in 2022, 2 in 2021, nothing in 2020, and before we saw quite a lot. Like, there was tons and tons and tons and tons of double barrel shotgun skins being accepted over the past few years, and hardly any water pipes, and hardly that many pump shotguns. But this is the first for this year. Cool. It is part of a bit of a silly collection. Cool. But they haven't really worked out very nicely. The name, the joke, it didn't carry. It wasn't strong enough to keep the price up. So, okay, at least we're aware of that. But that being something we don't see that much of in general, very likely could be holding up quite nicely. So, overall, pretty happy about that. But, now I should also point out, Cyberpack, Nuke, these skins right here, submitted months ago. We did see this trend kind of happen last year, where throughout like the summer, we kept seeing like some random skins from way, way, way back in the past being accepted. Looks like we're doing that again this year. Cool. Not going to be too upset. But if you were aware of all the new Rust Workshop skin submissions, you'd know about a certain fridge that could have been potentially accepted. They probably looked at that and thought, nah, let's go pick out a different one from the past. So, okay, that's funny. That's funny. Again, it might just be a coincidence. Fair enough. But Nuke was from 6 months ago. Technically, you could even say 7 months ago. A very long time ago, November 2024. Props to Robstar. Congratulations to you, sir. This is, of course, a collection. It's not doing super amazing, but it is there, and it has had quite a lot of acceptances, so that's cool. And the Cyberpack, well, that's part of the Cyber collection, which I'm sure many of you are fully well aware is a very metallic set. I don't think that backpack's going to change that much, but overall that was doing okay. Not the tier 3 though. But yeah, funnily enough, we were just talking about a grey set last week and talking about, well, it's like the first grey non-shiny one, so. Anyway, should I now actually sit here and talk about the skins individually, go through all of them, showcase them, discuss their potential as nice investments? Let's begin. Let's talk about the Black Ops Jackhammer. So, Black Ops collection. I do want to bring this up. Started off as, well, it's just basically weapons at the moment. Now, weapons and tools. But weapon-only collections, they don't tend to work out super great. This is a trend that happens quite a lot. And as you can see, it's been a bit awkward. But it was worse off. During spring, March, April, and of course, March, April... No, it's February, March, April. Sorry about that. Hedge, you might need to go to bed again. No, I'm all right. I'm good. Anyway. This was down real bad. This was close to $1. This was close to $1. Revolver's fine. Revolvers are reliable. But Black Ops Rocket Launcher also went down a fair bit as well. They didn't crash and burn, but they were bad. But now, these two are actually starting to pick up quite nicely. I've got to point this out because it's really strange to look at. So this is sitting here. That'll be like $2 plus in a second. There you go. But look what happened recently. What on earth is going on there? But as you can see, it did get really cheap. At one point, like $1.10, $1.20. But now, double in price. I do believe someone's done a bit of a buyout. But someone clearly appreciates the Black Ops collection. So, are you one of them? Right, anyway, out of here. Jackhammer. This is probably going to be one of the most reliable things to consider as an investment today. Because I just do not expect that many more Jackhammers to be produced and accepted anytime soon. And to really illustrate the point, let's go take a look at some Jackhammers that were made in the past that look like they actually had a genuine good chance of potentially being accepted. What do you mean? I'm talking about actual quality ones. So look up the Jackhammers, look at them by most recent, and I'll point out the ones that look like they were fairly okay. So, okay, there's one there. There's one there. Scroll. Maybe that one. Sure. Let's go over to here. And I wonder if these are actually all in 2025 still. That's the main thing we're trying to get across. Okay, yeah. All right, now I know that was from last year, so let's take a look at these. Cherry Lux, coincidentally, made by the people that made Black Ops, so clearly they're itching to try and get a Jackhammer accepted. Well, congratulations, guys, it's happened. They made that back at the end of March. That was months ago. Then over to here, Steel Variations, ICO DGG, March as well. Over to here, Handcrafted Jackhammer, looks all right. It's fine. March as well. Silver Dark Jackhammer. That was made in December. And then over to here, this produced by Duck, which is a very cool electric drill type of design. September. do you notice that we don't have that many Jackhammers being produced that are actually of like a decent quality? So if you're worried, oh no, there might be more and it might cause issues. No, I don't expect that many more skins being accepted. Like, they're not being made is the issue I'm trying to point out. So it's not really an issue as an investment. There's likely not going to be that much competition this year. However, Halloween, Christmas, skin creators tend to be a lot more creative with different types of ideas, because a lot of them try to avoid making garage doors and sheep doors, because everybody does it. So you'll most likely see a cool looking Halloween or Christmas skin made this year. Maybe it gets accepted, we'll see. But point made, we don't see that many being produced in general, even though people do appreciate them, but Facepunch just doesn't really accept them that much. Well, lo and behold, it's happened now. Hey, would you like to see another notable active collection make a Jackhammer right about now? Feel free to comment below what you'd like to see. Deep Ruby? What about a Hellborn one? What about a tire one? Yeah, maybe we could get like a tire one. A cock Jackhammer? I hope this video stays monetized. Anyway, so Black Ops Jackhammer, that is actually looking to be in a pretty interesting spot. It's also abnormal. You could go buy one for yourself, don't blame you, because again, I don't expect another Jackhammer for a while. But just to be a little bit safe, it is the top selling skin at the moment. It's abnormal. Let's do abnormal barters first. So next week, Wednesday night, going to Thursday morning, we'll approach that. Again, if I've already directed you to the most recent abnormal barters video, give it a good watch to understand how it works. Just because, right, we probably won't be expecting that many more. It could still end up with far too many sales, and there could still be quite a lot of them being listed afterwards, okay? Now, don't get me started about that Revolver. We'll talk about that in a bit, don't you worry, but that will be a very similar thing for that. We saw what happened to the Heatseeker MP5. I'm not expecting anything to that level with the Jackhammer here, but you understand some people buy a bit recklessly, and then they unload everything on the Steam market. You have seen that, I'm sure, so cool. Let's go take a good look at this in game right now. What a lovely day to showcase some lovely, lovely skins. Right then, so what do we have right here in my hands? Well, it's the one, the only, the Black Ops Jackhammer. Give that a good look, very nice and shiny, and so yes, that's a spectacular looking design, and as I said, we don't see many of them. By all means, if you want to buy one for yourself, go support those skin creators, keep them nice and motivated, keep wanting to put out nice creative designs in the future. Quick look at night time as well. Can confirm that this does not glow in the dark, as you can see. That's cool. You probably don't want people seeing you farming at night time, but they will hear you, you know. So as much as people might moan about, oh, people can see me, well, they can probably hear you as you're going at night time. Anyway, shall we go ahead and showcase this on stage? Now, someone has also just pointed out that apparently this has transparency. I'm not exactly sure where it is, but I can tell you it's very nice and shiny. Yeah, go look at that. You will. Right, let's strike a pose and look pretty. And yes, I am very pretty. Yes, observe the wonderful sheen, the shine. How nice. So yeah, what are your thoughts? Feel free to comment below. Quick look at during the day. And yeah, looking pretty sweet. So it's in a very good spot. I'm sure you understand now it most likely be a very reliable thing to consider investing into. But perhaps that doesn't compare to the next skin we want to showcase. Because, gentlemen, we also happen to have a Revolver. This also happens to be a Heatseeker Revolver. Heatseeker Summer. There was two versions. I put out a short video like a good 2 weeks ago showcasing both of them. They picked the version 2, which is fine. I think a lot more people preferred the more yellow version. Now, Revolvers tend to be very reliable investments. They tend to do a very good job of retaining their value. I'll show that off in a second again. We've already showcased it, but yeah, to really get the point across, this is probably going to be maybe the most reliable Heatseeker skin out of all the skins. And judging by the sales so far, it doesn't look like it's selling excessively. But it very likely will be the most like bought into Revolver skin we've ever seen. So over to here, you also might notice that we also happen to have the transparent aim sight. And I do believe that is a first for a Revolver. I don't think any other Revolver has this. So, okay, that certainly made it more valuable. And, you know, at night time, it doesn't glow, but the yellow coloration definitely makes it a lot more easier to spot. So if you're ever worried about, no, what about this then? Well, actually, no, I can see that pretty easily. Not, like, super easily, but, yeah, enough to it being spottable. Easy to somewhat notice. So, okay, cool. You get the idea. So, yeah, Revolvers, they do get a fair bit usage. It's not always being used, but you're always going through the cycles all over again. We've got to, make good with what you have, and at some point you will be using revolvers. Maybe you get to saps fast enough, we'll see, but they do get quite a lot of usage. And with that, the skins have value. People are actively wanting to get skins of these. Cool. I think a lot of people will be looking at this. I think quite a lot of people will be buying into this. I just don't think it's going to be one of the top selling skins out the whole set. I do expect it to sell more than the Python. I don't really expect it to sell as much as the Thompson. Again, I can't give you a good answer for that until I see the first 24 hours of sales, but things are looking very, very good for this right now. And it also looks nice. Yeah, look at the tiger. And you've got that green sheen as well still, so... Right then, let's go on stage and give it a good look. Nice and shiny as well. Get a good look at that. And now, let's strike a pose. Alright, so, what are your thoughts? I feel like I've, explained a lot. You probably got to bought some for yourself already, and I don't blame you. If you bought one for yourself, cool. You probably got one of the best, most useful revolvers skins that you could ever ask for. But how many more people are going to likely buy these as well? That's going to be something we're going to be a little bit wary about. So let's hop out of here, look at SMM, and kind of discuss the situation in which, is this actually going to be super profitable? Okay, so revolvers. Number one. We don't get that many of them being accepted. We've already been through all this. But quite literally last year, I said the same thing. These are all shiny. People are a bit unsure. But look at them now. Comfortably in the positive. And we still haven't even gone through the best of the summer yet. So that worked out nicely. Don't even get me started about these over here. That one don't count. That one's special. But that No Mercy revolver, that Solita revolver, worked out perfectly. So yeah, I've been yapping about revolvers for a long, long time. And they keep doing a very, very nice job. Except you, Black Gold Revolver. How could you hurt me this way? It's down by 1%. Anyway. So they tend to be very reliable, but the main thing we also got to get across is how many actually sell. So, as I've already indicated, I'm pretty sure the Heatseeker is going to be the highest one we've ever seen sell. The top selling one, what quite literally was the Black Ops Revolver. That did over 20,000 subscribers. An absurd amount. No, that's quite normal. Maybe for a revolver, but even then that worked out perfectly fine. And that Black Ops Revolver is the only skin out of the whole Black Ops collection that actually retained its value and stayed in the positive throughout the spring. Even right now. So anyway. Heatseeker. I'm under the impression, as I said, it's going to probably do between 20 to 30,000 subscribers. Now, that's just a very rough estimate at the moment. But it's been a good several hours. The rest are rotated. That is the top selling skin, not the Revolver. By default, if everybody probably watched this video, you probably would have jumped onto the Revolver first. Don't blame you. But in terms of actual genuine need, a usage and whatnot, I think people preferred the Jackhammer. I don't blame them. It's cool. But it definitely makes things interesting. Now, literally just last week, with the Python, that only just about did more than 20,000 subscribers. That only just about sold more than the AK-47. And funnily enough, that AK, God, he is getting hard carried, right? He just so happened to be the first skin, but all these other skins that get accepted, making the collection a lot more bigger and a lot more interesting. He always benefits from it, because every time a new one's accepted, more people are jump in and buy that one now. Even though that's the one that doesn't have a transparent aim sight. At least, not a ridiculously helpful one. It's got a strange one. We've talked about it before. Anyway. The Heatseeker skins, they are constantly on the front page. They do not leave. They're going to be here throughout the summer. But don't be surprised to see if the Heatseeker skin... don't be surprised around October time this year, they drop off. But that's expected to happen for every single skin, right? The only issue is, Heatseeker skins have sold pretty madly. Insanely for most of them. The Revolver, though, even then, I think that will retain its value. A lot of these revolvers that you see here, especially the more recent ones, they go down, but they don't really go down that bad, and they most likely just end up evens. They are very reliable, I'm not joking. They tend to be very nice things to consider investing into. But do not expect them to surge in value or anything. These came out last year. That's up 75%, that's up 46%. If you're there last year and knew this was going to happen, would you be happy to buy a bunch of them, knowing that they had only got up to about that price? I'm sure you still would. But it took a year, alright? And yeah, they'll very likely reach a new higher price at some point over the course of the next few weeks, months, we'll see. But don't assume it's just going to be absolutely insane profits. Good profits, reliable profits, but not insane. So if you're going to buy some, do keep in mind about that, right? Now, you could just keep holding on to them throughout, like, the next few years and sell a few here and there. I've done that. I've bought hundreds of revolvers. I bought 100 Black Ops revolvers. I was that confident in them. And as I said, during the spring months, February, March, April, while so many skins crashed, burned, went down real bad, no, that revolver did A-okay. It retained. I could have sold it. Yeah, I would have made a loss, but I would have still sold it for most of its price. But now I can sell it for a profit. So that right there, Heatseeker revolver. Main point I want to get across is we are expecting more Heatseeker skins. So I can point out right now the LR300. If we go over to here, you'll also be aware of that the skin creator has indicated that the SAP is next. But if you go to his actual workshop, you'll see that the LR300 is there and it is prepared. And it also has absolutely absurd transparency. That is equal to MP5 transparency. That amount has been removed. But then again, LR300 usage, alright, cool, understood. But there is still more, and there is still more than that. And I don't think he's going to stop. I still think he should do a sheet with a double door, because that design would look really cool on a sheet with a double door. And also you could have transparency, glow in the dark, and everybody be happy. Anyway, so, we'll see what becomes of this collection. I still expect the skins to do nicely, but once we hit around September, October, but then again, January time, and if you aren't fully well aware, January 4 swipe is going to be the 1st of January. There's going to be so many hungover people. But, like, that first week of January is going to be absolutely absurd. I'm sure you've, like, fully, like, you remember what happened earlier this year? Yeah, 259,000. Average player count for the month, 124,000. A lot of people turned up. So a lot of people will turn up again and see the Heatseeker skins and notice they got cheaper and they'll buy them out again and the price will go back up again. You know, understand how things usually play out throughout the year. We have ups, we have downs, we have ups, we have downs, we have ups again. It happens all the time. So, Revolver, even then, at its worst, it very likely might dip down in price by a little bit and then rise back up again nice and comfortably. You've been warned, you've been informed, but very reliable. I do not expect a ton of revolvers being produced and accepted this year. Maybe at best a couple more, but it also wouldn't surprise me if we only have these two and that's it. So, other skin creators that watch this video now are probably going to make a revolver. Alright then, so that's also abnormal. $3. Bit pricey. Didn't talk about that yet, did we? A $3 skin, but then again, the only one with a transparent aim sight. So we'll leave it at that. You can comment below what you think about it. You're more than welcome to. Cyberpack Backpack. An interesting metallic design. We'll be showcasing this to you in a minute. But the Cyber collection was a weird one. Like last year, we saw a lot of like metallic sets being accepted. It was a bit odd. Like all of them around the same time. What was it? Hardsuit, Cyber, and Damascus. That's it. They all came out around the same time. They were all metallic. And quite a lot of them didn't really work out super great. Again, look at the Cyber collection. You'll see for yourself. But then some of it's quite alright. So, yeah, it was a bit odd. Now we've got a backpack. I don't really expect much of the backpack in terms of, is that going to be super insanely valuable? Backpacks as well. Take a quick look at this. And some of them are doing quite alright. Not all of them. But I think this is going to end up kind of like the Hardsuit backpack. Not as bad, but still very similar. That was one of the very first marketable backpacks to be accepted. It did 31,000 subscribers. It crashed and burned. I don't expect that many sales for this, but I don't expect it to retain very nicely either. Okay, so just to point out, we do have another metallic option, and it's super cheap. Whilst this one is fairly different, obviously part of its own collection, still I worry about it. Still I am concerned about it. But at the very least, let's go showcase it. I got my hands up, it's nice and shiny. Look at that backpack. Look how nice and cuffed it is. Yes, now there's also a weapon on there that we'll be showcasing in a bit. You got a nice little preview of that as well. But overall, you can see that's a pretty nice looking backpack. And yes, it's quite reflective. Yes. So if you want to be a robot man of some sort or just nice and metallic, you do have a nice option here. It's cool. It's bolted in. What are your thoughts? Feel free to comment below. But yeah, that is essentially it. Now, does it glow in the dark, you might question? Well, if I were to just quickly move over to here, into the darkness, can you still see me? Yeah, I don't think so. And then, of course, yeah, it doesn't glow. Nothing like that. So you got no need to worry about that. It's all good. It's fine. So, all right. If you like it, you go buy it. You go appreciate it. Not every single skin has to be an investment. But if you are considering it, it's also abnormal. So let's wait till next week. Look at the amount of sales it's had, and then make a consideration from there. Sounds good. Right. So that weapon, what does it happen to be? Oh, Hellborn collection has returned. How nice. Oh. So we're spoilt because we've had the Heat Seeker SAR, didn't we? That matches up to the Imp SAR's transparency, but we've just had the Heat Seeker. Still nice, and of course, quick look at night time. Just want to point this out. That eye stares at you. Look at it. I can see you. So yeah, I thought that was pretty funny. But we are also fully well aware that next week we're going to have the Bellum Twitch drops. Silver's SAR has the exact same transparency as the Heat Seeker SAR. That's going to be given away for free. This one costs money. Oh dear. Okay, that's a bit concerning. Yes, it is. But you can still buy it if you want. But as an investment, Heat Seeker skins have been a bit funny. We'll talk more about that in a bit, don't you worry. But at the very least, let's go showcase this on stage. Yeah, that's looking nice and shiny. Very, very shiny. Okay, well, let's go strike a pose, look pretty, and there we are. Still got the backpack on, but now we have the weapon in my hands. Look at that. Nice, carved in sort of design there. Very cool. So yeah, again, if you like it, you're more than welcome to go ahead and buy it. Treat yourself, alright? But in terms of what I see here, if you only care about like the usefulness in terms of its aim sight and whatnot, we are expecting better for free next week. So if you want to go help, support the skin creator, you can go buy it. It's up to you. So yeah. Right, now let's hop out of here and showcase to you the Hellborn collection, see what potentially will happen with this. So the Hellborn SAR, just to reiterate, not abnormal, alright? So that will only become marketable when the Rustle rotates. Now if I were to go ahead and take a look at the actual collection itself, quite a decent amount of weapons, but what's going on here? Well, down 10% for the crossbow, that's pretty cool. That also glowed in the dark. But the AK, down in price. However, only down by 35%. It's a little bit better compared to most AKs. And then the custom SMG, that's kind of normal for an SMG. So, like, fortunately, I can't help but assume the SAR is going to probably be performing similar, but the transparency on it, Hedge, but it's not that special anymore. I'm very sorry to say. But yeah, a certain SAR is getting all the love. That sold so many, like, again, 39,000 subscribers, but don't be surprised to hear that actually probably maybe sold around 50, maybe 60,000 sales. There's a lot of them. And once we reach around October time, autumn fall seasonal dip, that's going to get cheaper. And when more and more people become aware of the Silver SAR, which you can see just over to here, where are you, Silver SAR? There you go. Whilst we cannot see like actual pictures of it here, because that's all you see, trust me when I say that has the exact same aim sight as the Heat Seeker SAR, and that'll be given away for free. Yeah. By the way, oh, there it is. Yeah. But you can't actually see the aim sight, so all right, fair enough. You get the idea. So, yes, a lot more people will become aware of that SAR, and I worry for this. And in theory, shouldn't you be worrying about the Imp SAR? Because that used to be like the best one. Oh, we've got a bit of a problem here. So, like I said at the very beginning, just refresh. You might have some issues, but it only takes like half a minute and then it resolves. So, why don't we skip ahead now? Yeah, no, it broke. Whoops. So, yeah, it can break. It's first day. There's a lot of people trying to look on it. Fair enough. Okay, so the point I was trying to get across is Imp SAR. At one point, uncontested, best transparent aim sight SAR we had in the game. That was pushing up to $50. Heat Seeker SAR appears much cheaper, much more affordable, a lot more available. $50 down to $33, and now on the horizon, a brand new Spanish Twitch drop for absolutely free. Hellborn SAR has the exact same amount of transparency as this SAR. This has been crashing and burning very, very recently. Oh goodness, look at that again. So, considering that literally next week, for absolutely free, we're getting even more transparency, the Hellborn SAR, you're not going to have a fun time. Now, by all means, if you like the design, if your figure looks cool, and you like the whole aesthetic and whatnot, buy it, treat yourself, support the skin creator, you understand. But in terms of what's available for like super helpfulness with the aim sight, yeah, Point made, I'm guessing, so. Cool. Right then, so shall I now proceed to talk about the next skin? That, of course, would be the Cock Pump Shotgun. Gentlemen, I have already put out a short video talking about this. It's been a very long time since we've had a pump shotgun, so let's now go over to here. Of course, I'd love to be able to showcase to you an SMM, but it's not working. But yeah, pump shotgun. Let's just see how they're all currently holding up at the moment. But you do see quite a decent amount of these up in value quite nicely. In fact, what's the cheapest one at the moment? So you do have that Chieftain, but that was one of the skins that was like always available in loot drops. It had to be like some recurring super cheap ones that people didn't care for. That was one of them, and unfortunately it's super cheap because of that like whole era back in like 2017, 2018, 2019. Anyway, we have seen the likes of Recycler Pump Shotgun, El Diablo. They haven't really held up their value very much. But one thing you might notice is, where's all the quantity? Now, these two, they're down a fair bit bad because, well, unfortunately, they probably just don't look very nice. Sorry to say, that's probably the nicest way I could put it. They are down by about 50 cents from the prices they sold for on the Rust store. But yeah, it's not down tragically bad. They are still above $1. So at the very least, if you're going to be concerned about pump shotguns, you could still offer at least $1. But as you start to look at all of these, the prices go up, and yeah, they're doing pretty good. So for a, what price? We're looking at a $1.99 price here for a very angry looking cock rooster. Chat, let's begin the puns. Come on in. Whip out all your puns for the cock. Yes, time to showcase my awesome looking cock. So, yes, it's very nice and red. Do you enjoy looking at it? You're the weird person looking this up on YouTube. All right, don't look at me funny. Now, just to quickly confirm, it's not super noticeable at night time. Lads, look, I understand this affects us all at some point in our lives, but it might be a bit of a struggle to try and find it, all right? So, yeah. But at the very least, I don't think you're really aiming down that much. I think you're just jumping in front of doors and surprising people. Ta-da! Oh, mate, door camping has completely changed. So anyway. Ta-da! And let me give it a little bit of pump. Cool. So, anyway, I think the joke might carry for this one, because I think a lot of people are going to have fun times saying that they're just going to whip out their cock, pump their cock. Rooster. I'm just pointing out because YouTube might get upset with me pointing it out so much. It's a chicken, YouTube. It's a chicken that I can pump. Anyway, so let's just go show this on stage. Let's. Ladies, gentlemen, I'd just like to say on stage, in all the lights, my cock is very shiny right now. It's just the gift that keeps on giving. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Okay, so anyway, perhaps people will appreciate you as time goes on. And again, if we do not see that many like pump shotgun skins being produced, much like how I talked about the Jackhammer, we don't see that many. I'm always looking at the workshop, aren't I? I don't see that many pump shotgun skins being produced. I honestly think this is in a pretty interesting spot. But I'm not going to rule out the possibility of potentially seeing some more at some point later this year. Maybe we'll get some scary looking pump shotguns for Halloween, some Christmassy ones around Christmas, we'll see. But for now, you got a cock, alright? And I'm sure you're very happy. But the other skins we've seen previously, the AK, the SAR, the joke didn't really last. Price still went down. So the AK, down less than $1, SAR, just barely over $1. Will this persevere? Will this succeed? It's not the most bought skin currently. It most likely won't be throughout the rest of the week. It might just sell a reasonable amount, and that's totally fine as an investment. We'll be alright with that. It's not abnormal, but I'd still advise to wait it out if you want to buy one for yourself. If you feel the need to buy a cock, go buy one. Treat yourself. Have a lovely weekend, alright? But as an investment, let's wait till Wednesday. Look at it. We'll consider if we actually want to jump in and buy some. I'm curious, but it's mostly due to the fact that I don't expect that many more like pump shotgun skins to be accepted. So, okay, fair enough. So, yeah, what are your thoughts? Feel free to comment below. And, of course, tell me your funny jokes. And now over to here, we have a very surprising skin. That is the Nuke Room Furnace. No, fridge. This one keeps your stuff cool. Doesn't cook it, Hedge. Anyway, get a good look at the Nuke Room collection continuation. So, Nuke Room isn't exactly super in demand. We'll accept that. At the very least, it does glow quite nicely with lights right next to it. Quite reflective. Looking pretty cool. And of course, total darkness. Quite nicely noticeable. Cool. Yes. And on the top, not as much. Alright, sweet. So by all means, do you like it? Or do you prefer the other ones we've seen this year? Nuke Room deplorables, they haven't performed super great. Overall, quite a lot of them, they're pretty down bad. Aside from like the sheet metal double door and another one that eludes me. I'd show it to you, but SCM's not working at the moment. So anyway, for what it is, it's fine. It looks cool. Indiana Jones will probably jump into it, probably keep him protected from the bomb. Anyway, it's fine, but I still worry for it. And how many fridges have we had accepted so far this year? A record-breaking amount. It's only like 6 or 7, but before we used to hardly see any of them being accepted. So, if you can recall, we had a Valentine skin, we had a frog skin, we had the skull one, the one that looked like a HR Geiger design, you know the one. They came out, and they all came out in such a short amount of time, and they struggled, and they've gone down in price at the moment. Then we had the Easter chick, the Neon Easter, and we also happened to have the cryo fridge, didn't we? Well, those later free fridges are actually perfectly in the positive right now. But the ones earlier, the first three I just mentioned, yeah, they're down in price. So, we'll see how things progress. But I am concerned about that one. At the very least, it is abnormal. So, pace ourselves? We should. We should take our time. Right then, let's hop out of here and take a look at those other fridges just to illustrate my point. So here is the Valentine skin, a lovely balloon cart. You may recall this. It did like 11,000 subscribers. That really wasn't that much. Very interesting, transparent design. Pretty cool to see. But now it's down in price. Sold for $2. Now it's sitting here at $1.26. Barders are still keeping it up reasonably. Still very thin. Maybe as we go through the summertime, it might progress quite nicely. Fingers crossed. I did buy a few of them. But yeah, as more and more and more options appeared, it suddenly became less special. This being one of them, Death Metal Fridge. Now this isn't down too bad. There's only 14 listings, alright? But if I can recall, this only did like 9 to 10,000 subscribers. But look at that. That looks like it's actually rebounding and going back up in price. I think people are approaching this during the summer and appreciating it. So, cool, you're good, but you're still down in price. And then we have Frog Fridge. Yeah. Not as bad compared to the Valentine's one, but still not perfect in its own right. Still very thin though. Maybe that does progress quite nicely. But to take a look at like all the fridges, this one right here, this has done fantastic. It was doing good before we even saw the small box being accepted last week. $6.50. Barders pushing up to $5. People do be appreciating that very cool looking design. That's got like transparency and glow in the dark. It's very unique. It's very special. So, okay, fair enough. This is $2.49. There are cheaper options. Some people may prefer the other options. But Nuke Room skins as a whole, so let's just go over to here, showcase this to you the best that I can. And I'm so sorry that SCM stopped working. The locker's down in price. I believe the large box is down in price. The garage door is definitely down in price. The armor door is down in price. The double door and the small box are actually doing okay. Fair enough. But that's the majority of the collection. I do kind of worry about the fridge. I am concerned it's going to end up like these fridges. Slightly down, but you don't really want to invest and purchase things that you expect to go slightly down. You're probably better off with a buy order. Conveniently, the fridge is abnormal, so point made. Let's wait till next Wednesday. Approach it then. But by all means, if you like the skin, go ahead. Buy it. Appreciate it. Enjoy it and whatnot. But as an investment, you're better off waiting it out. Sounds good? All good? Cool. So, shall we now move on to the next skins? Time out jacket. So, one thing you might have noticed is, where's the tier 3? I don't know. I really do not know. I'm just as confused as you are. But a jacket would still be appreciated. So, of course, we could just quickly hop over to here. Tire kilt, perfectly in the positive right now. How's it been for the past like few weeks, past month or so? Yeah, it's been slightly going down, but of course it's never going to always like retain the price it is when it spikes in price. But overall it's been doing okay. And you got like the hoodie here as well. That's doing reasonably okay. Again, trending downward still, but still doing quite alright. The price it is, not going to complain too much. So yeah, 31 listings, looking pretty thin, but the tier 3 is what we were mostly hoping for. So to get the point across, there has been a good solid like 2 months of tier 3 on the workshop, and still technically being like active, available. Facepunch clearly have looked at it and they've decided against it. I don't know what they're doing, but the jacket was submitted somewhat recently, and it's been accepted ahead of this. If there were to be a complete set late this year, which most likely will happen, that always happens later in the year, maybe they're saving the tier 3 for that. I'm confused. You're confused. That's the best answer I can give you. I'm pretty sure 1RJ will keep trying his best to submit it. There'll be a version 3 at some point, I'm sure. But yeah, I know, it's odd. It is. I don't know what's going on. We didn't even see like a black alligator like hoodie pants today, did we? No. And that was also submitted. Deep Ruby, alright, fair enough. But like, what are they cooking? Because they would have looked at it. And again, this tier 3 was available last week and the week before that. When we saw the like grey one last week, I can't remember its name, Island Assault, that's it. And of course, Boneforged. But they picked Boneforged and Island Assault instead of that. Anyway, shall we go in game, look at the jacket, and question how that's going to behave? Because I'm sure you've seen jackets in recent past. I'm sure you've seen like the Lunar New Year one, and there was another one as well. There's been a lot of transparency, and they've been a bit awkward. But also last year, we saw a lot of black jackets overall, didn't we? If I was to look at all these jackets by price, yeah, we're not going to be we're going to be nowhere like these prices. But we did see like training jacket. We saw black gold jacket. They initially did slump quite a fair bit, but then they've recovered. This is now pushing above $2. This is close to $2. We also saw Hell Riders. Overall, they did go down pretty bad, but they did kind of recover. Not that one though. That's still $1. Ooh. So I'm just going to point out there are other options. You are aware of them. Now let's go in game. Take a look at the tie jacket. And here we are. Get a good look at that. Got a bit of red and blue. Look totally fine. Made out of 100% leather from wheels I stole. But yeah, no, that's totally fine. I see no issue with that. Is it going to be a huge profit? I doubt it. But if we saw tier 3 being accepted, I could also see this have a nice bump in price. That'd be pretty cool. Also, quick look at night time. If you were curious, no, I don't think that. No glow, nothing. Doesn't stand out or anything. And I know some people are a bit unsure about like the red and the blue. Honestly, once you're a bit of a distance away, you do not notice it. Do you see it still? Not really. So I wouldn't be too concerned about that. Alright then, so you are abnormal if I can recall. We can wait till Wednesday and then consider chasing after you. That, I think, would probably be the better option. It very likely will slump down in price for a while, but then probably, you know, start being appreciated more when more tire skins are being accepted. And what happens to the collection as a whole now? Are we going to start seeing weapons and tools, deplorables? I mean, feel free to comment below what you'd like to see out of this. But for what it is, I think it's alright. And if you want to buy one for yourself, go ahead. Right then, so, with that, shall we now go ahead and showcase the next skin? And next up, we've got an interesting looking MP5 right here. It's got termites all over it. Anyway, I do believe this is a skin creator's first ever skin to be accepted. Mr. Excuse Me. Best of luck to you for more skins in the future. Are we going to see more of this as a weapon collection? That'd be pretty cool. But yeah, the first thing you might have noticed is, yes, it has transparency, but not as much as the Heat Seeker. And there's also a Twitch drop MP5 coming out next week, which I'll talk about a little bit later. But yeah, it's a pretty unique design. Pretty goofy, I will sit there and say that. But I'm sure people still like it, enjoy it, appreciate it to a point. So, okay, right. Well, at the very least, let's just quickly reload it, give that a good look there. Nice quick look at nighttime as well. Does it happen to glow or light up or anything? Not really. Oh, okay, fair enough. Right then, so let's go ahead and showcase this on stage. Reasonably shiny. Okay, fair enough. Strike a pose, look pretty, and off we go. So, get a good look at him. He's a very, very angry looking termite. I like how there's that little notch there that sticks out, and he used that as like a little antenna, and also the little pincer there. You know what? Props to you, good sir, the skin creator. That's some creative thinking there. That's actually pretty smart. All right, I like it now. But yeah, overall, it is a bit like worn out and whatnot. Might not be for everybody, but just that little bit of creativity right there, I've got to give them some props. That's pretty clever. So, pretty cool, pretty nice. But there is a Twitch drop literally next week. This is selling for $2, I believe. But next week we're getting something for absolutely free. So, why don't we quickly go and hop out of here and showcase it to you now and discuss what might likely happen next. It's the same situation with the SAR, basically. So the Termite MP5, $2, pretty goofy, interesting transparency. That new Bellum Twitch drops next week, June 25 to July 2nd / the 3rd. It's like depending where you are in the world. But over to here, we do have the Augusta Bell MP5 that has more transparency than that. This, not as much as the Heat Seeker, but more, and gold, and not full of termites. So, yeah, the Termite MP5 might have some issues, especially with that coming out literally the next week. Again, you might like termites, you might like bugs. That's up to you, but I think especially with the Heat Seeker MP5 getting cheaper, so if I could just quickly go over to here. There he is, 2,700 listings now. Yippee! For the same price, you could buy that. And the amount of transparency that has at the moment, yeah. Termite MP5 is not in a good spot right now, sorry to say. So I probably will just stick with doing like a 60-cent, 20-cent barter in it. Now, again, if you like it, and it does appear to be the first ever skin for this skin creator, consider showing support. Very likely we might see like a collection continuation. Who knows what it'll be. But yeah, at least, consider. All right, so cool. All right, then. So with that, we're now down to the final two skins. It just so happens to be clothing pieces, Deep Ruby. So, of course, you probably noticed I just quickly looked up some Deep Ruby skins. Yes. Here's the kilt. I actually bought 50 kilts. If you're like me, you're probably keeping track of everything you bought so far this year. I did buy 50. I had an inkling because, we have had quite a lot of Deep Ruby skins being accepted this year, haven't we? Quite a lot indeed. So I was like, surely they'll do it, right? After a couple weeks of waiting, yes, we finally did see Hoodie and Pants. I understand it's not for everybody. I get that. But I'm in the position of, it doesn't matter. So as long as you see those collection continuations, you're going to see those prices go up. I've seen some purchases. I've seen the price go up a fair bit, but that was it. Ooh, dear. Hey, maybe we'll get the full kit. People truly appreciate trying to become an eggplant. Fair enough. I kind of was under the impression that it will probably get a lot more appreciation during the summer. I certainly hope so. But, hey, okay, fair enough. It is what it is. Shall we just go showcase the hoodie pairs now? Give it a good look. Maybe put on the tier 2 as well. And figure out, what becomes of it next. Both the hoodie and pants are abnormal. We are expecting the tier 3. So if I could just quickly go to the workshop page here. Look at the collection here. Tier 3 was submitted. It's right there. But much like the situation with the tire tier 3. Where is it? Maybe it appears next week. Can't imagine that. Oh, the tire people will be furious. But anyway, let's go in game now. Let's go give the the hoodie and pants a good look. And yes, I am eggplant. I am shiny and purple. So yeah, again, might not be for everybody, but hey, if you want to stand out and look goofy, you have the option. You don't want to be wearing this in the snow. You probably don't even want to wear this during, like the grassy green areas and whatnot. But for something just to stand out, like if you're in a big group, you don't care, that's fine. You got that. And as I said, the rise of the eggplant will be great. It'll be wonderful. The summer of 2025, we shall see. Anyway, shall I now go ahead and actually put on the tier 2 armor as well? See how that all lines up nicely and whatnot. Dun, 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 dun. I'm very, very shiny. I am very, very purple. Get a good look at me. Again, I get it. It's not going to give you an advantage, but my goodness, will you be ever so shiny. So, come on now. What are your thoughts? Deep Ruby Collection. Maybe you just preferred it as weapons and tools. I've heard a lot of people say that. Fair enough. But it doesn't matter. If we see that tier 3, that's still going to spike up. It might not be forever. Maybe as time goes on, people will learn to appreciate it. Or neglect it. We'll see. Alright? So, okay. I think I've said more than enough. I could also just quickly pan around, look at the back as well. I mean, we've already seen the tier 2. But yeah. Shiny. Very, very shiny. And of course, nighttime look as well. Even more shiny. Yeah. Right then, so I think that's all the skins. Let's now hop out of here and discuss some other things and wrap up the video. So if you're concerned, at the moment, both the hoodie pants are the lowest selling skins. It's been a good several hours. Sadly done 1,000 to 2,000 subscribers. I'm not expecting that much. We do need to see, does it compare nicely to the sales that the tier 2 did? I'd show them to you right now if I could. But SCMM's still down. If I can recall, it only did 10-ish thousand subscribers each. So let's see if the hoodie pants do the same. That'd be cool. That'd be nice. Right, lovely. So let's just go ahead and close this. So once again, overall, what's your opinion with the Rust store? As I said, I'm pretty fine with it. Interesting variety. It's weird how certain collection continuations haven't happened, but we always bring that up. We always talk about that. But in the future, do you expect more super late picks 5 months ago, almost 7 months ago? What random things could randomly be accepted in upcoming Rust stores? Feel free to comment below. Right. So let's talk about some other things. Next month, whilst we're not really expecting a big fat update, I get the feeling the party system changes are going to be the update, the overall main thing to be talking about. So that'll be July, Force White. So there's some smaller interesting things being talked about. Decor lighting still being worked on, fairy lights specifically. Is this supposed to be a Christmas thing? I'm under the impression now this is going to be a general item, as in something you can buy forever. So it's not actually being Christmas themed. It's actually going to be some sort of decorative thing. There's going to be more to it, more than just lights, basically. So that very likely might be something ready for July. We shall see. So you just got your floor wallpaper. Now you're going to have decorative lights. That'd be another $15, please. Anyway. Yes, this hazmat's still being worked on, but more specifically, the pistol. And I'm sure many of you are fully well aware. Wasn't this supposed to be a Warhammer collaboration? Yeah. Apparently that's also a hazmat pack. But Face Punch, they've worked on things before, left it for a couple months, come back to it, and then they finish it. That's happened many times. So whilst they're probably working on this pistol right now, it doesn't seem to be there's no mentions of the actual hazmat itself at the moment. Not from what I can see, so. Alright then, fair enough. We'll see what progresses from here, but point made? Yeah, we'll see what happens next, but keep an eye on the commits at the very least, you'll be aware of that. Okay, so, party system. A lot of people don't seem to be very happy about this. I mean, when it was first basically brought up, you can look at all the downvotes. But this appears to be continuing. They are sticking with it. Maybe it's for specific servers, we shall see. But I get the feeling that is going to be the big update, or rather the update name for July. So we'll see how that progresses. And also changes in which you can spawn at outpost. I do believe you have to get there first to then be able to spawn there. Okay. Fair enough. We'll see if people like that or not. But things are changing. Right then, so keep an eye on the commits for all the newest content that's being worked on, and you'll be aware of new potential things that you might see, whether it's actual items or just new interesting things for how the game's going to play. Cool. Player count. So it hasn't been super great. Compared to last year, it's been amazing though, but not really, but you get the idea. So last month we had the introduction of the jungle update. Lots of people were very happy with that. This month we didn't actually have anything. Awkward, yes. The next actual big update appears to be the naval update, but apparently that's not coming out until later this year. I mean, November time apparently. So Okay, well, fair enough then. That is what it is. But like, will things perk up, right? We'll see. With that new party system update, will a lot of people jump in just to see how it works, just see if they like it? All right, maybe we'll see that. But from here, we should start to see a lot of skins actually like peaking in price. Some of you might have noticed certain things have progressed ever so nicely. I've also pointed out certain skins already. Like, one thing I've noticed is you see how like Arctic protection, Arctic camo's like the best early game like white camouflage we have. Ghost, do you remember this from Halloween? Ghost guys, there it is. Yes, both of these skins have been bought out literally like the past month. A lot of skins are getting noticed. A lot of skins are getting bought out. A lot of skins are rising up to new all-time highs. Look at that. It was spring. What? Because people cannot afford Arctic protection, so they go for the next best thing. And the awkward thing about that is that glows. But even then, people are like, I don't care. I got nothing else. So that went from like $1 to $2 to $4, and it's still getting bought out. There's only so many listings left. I mean, yeah. Well, you look at that then. And of course the poncho as well. But that's what happens. Lots more people turning up. Lots more people need certain skins. Well, they're going to buy them out. Yes. Right then. So keep an eye on your inventories. Keep an eye on the prices of skins. And consider selling out if you want to. If the profit's good, go for it. So very quickly hop over to here. How are we looking? Steam, you good? You live? Earlier I did look at my Ghost guys. It turns out I have 15 of them. I'm happy. But if I could just point out my recent sales, I've only currently reached up to about 1,500. I've tried to sell some more valuable things here and there. Again, I don't intend to flood the market with tons of things here and there. Just up to 5. But yeah, it's been all right. It's been fine. I haven't been going super insane. I have been offering like my much more valuable things, some reasonably pricey things in there, but it is still slowly selling and the money is still slowly rolling in. So if you don't have that many skins, you could make the consideration. I have a lot of skins. I've been selling a lot of random stuff, but I am selling and I am getting good profit. I'm somewhat happy about that. So for your consideration, keep an eye out. Of course, as we approach July and August, you've got to start making some decisions. Cool. So we've talked about that. Now let's talk about, interesting things just around the corner. So I'm not sure if you care, but Counter-Strike is currently having a major. But what you will care about is the fact that it's going to have a sale. So they currently are like doing their tournament. You could buy stick capsules. Those will go on sale. It'll be like 2 or 3 weeks after the the end, which will be this weekend. So about 2 or 3 weeks time, there will be a sale. People might be cashing out so they could go put towards new capsules. Just giving you a heads up. You'll only really notice it maybe for about a week at best. But as time goes on, those capsules are available for a very long time. All right. Now, which coincides with that, we also have the summer sale. Yep, games are going to get cheaper. Oh yes, they are. So next week we're going to have the summer sale. Don't be surprised to some people probably to cash out to go get some cheap games. All right, and that lasts for 2 weeks. So next month's going to be pretty awkward. But even then, if we see all the people turn up and whatnot, we should still see prices improving quite nicely. But if certain things seem to stagnate for a while, you've got a solid answer here. So both Counter-Strike and the summer sale, cool. And that's the Steam summer sale. So games and Steam being cheap, just to clarify if you didn't understand. Now hopefully, SCMM will be okay, right? I feel so awkward that it went like that during this. Oh. But yeah, we got the video done. We persevered. But there's something you need to be aware of, and I'm sure you're fully already well aware of it already. Twitch.facepunch.com. The Bellum Twitch drops are now there. So between June 25 to July 2nd or the 3rd, if you're a European and more like East, then yes, it'll be the 3rd. In short, a week you'll be able to get all these skins for absolutely free. 4 interesting generic drops, as you can see right there. And 9 specific drops in which you're going to have to watch these streamers to get these skins. Now, that'll be just 2 hours of your time. It's not hard to do. And some of these skins are really, really, really interesting. We have 2 AKs here. So 1 generic drop AK and 1 very cool looking design for Corolla. Both of them have transparent aim sight. And they do look nice. Sleek red design here. Awesome looking Nordic, like You got Odin on here with the crows and all the runic design. It's awesome. 2 hours of your time, you get them for free. I've made a fuss about this because with these skins being available for free, they very likely will have an impact on certain skins that are selling quite nicely in the Steam market. Heatseeker. And of course, I've had to reference it considering some of the skins that we've seen today. So that will be available as of next week. Maybe that might bring in a lot of people. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, we've got a lovely batch of skins readily available. I hope you're ready. All right. Just remember, connect your Steam account to a Twitch account, and you can only get it on Twitch. And if you're not too thrilled to listen to Spanish, listen, if you don't want to sit there for a Spanish stream, you can just hop on a different browser, right, and then watch it there. Now, so as long as you have volume on the stream, you can mute the tab, and it'll still progress, right? So you could also put it, watch it on your phone, watch it on a laptop, watch it on your TV. It will still progress. So the options are there. You just have to make sure there is volume on the actual Twitch-like player, and then it counts it, right? So cool, awesome. So this collection here of all the skins, this will be linked in the description. And I had to wait a while until we got the extra generic drops. So why don't I give you a nice little preview of the furnace? But I will sit here and say, this Saturday, I'll have a showcase of all the Twitch drops here. I'll try my best to showcase them to the best of my ability. And I'm pretty sure a lot of you will be very, very happy with some of the skins that you're about to see. Well, when I showcase them on Saturday. So let's hop in game now and give that furnace a good look. Get a good look at that furnace. Yes. Nice bit of Bellum branding on the front there. Nice and shiny. Metallic welder design. Wires to lighten up. The neon sign there for Bellum. Looking pretty cool. Do you like? Because remember, that's going to be given away for absolutely free. For generic drops, you can watch anyone that's streaming Rust on Twitch. And yeah, the hours count up. Super easy to get. Right, quick look at night time. With the light right next to it, as you can see there. It is a fair bit reflective. Get a good look at that. Nice. Alright then. But with the lights turned off, how does it look? Well, that, I can confirm, it lights up quite nicely. Nice, interesting red way. Get a good look at that. All nice and lit up. Looking pretty sweet. So yeah, that was your preview for the Bellum free Twitch drops. The event will be taking place June 25 to July 2nd, or the 3rd, depending where you are in the world. But you get the idea. So, an interesting batch of skins. There's so much to show off. But that'll be for a dedicated video in which I'll put out this Saturday. Now, the reason why I'm kind of making such a fuss about this is because I'm probably the only person that's going to be making a video for this. TGG. Let's quickly talk about him. So yeah, quite recently I've been the only person talking about all the workshop skins, and here's my Rust Workshop skin checks video. Give that a good look. All the collection continuations are chaptered, just saying. But yeah, what happened with that German guy, TGG? Well, he got a new job, as he said, but with who? Well, he's actually hired by Facepunch now. He actually works for them. So in the past, he would review skins, make sure they're of the quality standard, make sure there's no copyright issues. He'd make his top picks list, and that would actually get sent to Facepunch themselves. But what he got was a guaranteed skin to be accepted every 3 or so months. Now he actually works for them. So his actual announcement here, as you can see, very happy, and congratulations to him. So he's got an official role now, very cool. And yeah, keep an eye out. I'm not sure what else is going to be said, but apparently there's a few more things to be aware of. Cool. I'm aware that the skin creators have their own very special Discord server now that they communicate through and whatnot. So awesome, lovely. So that is what's going on. Stop asking me about Hedge, you doing it now? No. Still TGG. He is still essentially doing the same thing as doing before, but now he actually works for them. So yeah, and you can see it right there. Skins coordinator for @PlayRust Facepunch Studios. Lovely, awesome. So yeah, I'm probably the only person who's going to make a video showcasing the brand new Bellum skins. Done reasonably well. So cool, awesome. Right then, so shall we actually properly wrap this up now? Okay, so yeah, thank you very much. If I had a garage door, I'd stand in front of that, but no, so yeah. Hopefully SMM fixes itself. It's been struggling a fair bit recently. I have pointed that out, but I can sort of work around it. But clearly you can see I kind of need it, don't I? Right, so I hope the video was reasonably concise, straight to the point. I hope you got a good showcase of all the skins. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. That's what matters most. So thank you all for watching the video, and keep an eye out for Saturday. I will showcase all those brand new Bellum Twitch drops. I hopefully will showcase them to the best of my ability. And yeah, that's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Catch you later. See you, goodbye.